for orders, and I could not get the orders that I wanted, but they gave me the next best, which was here in Washington. And there were only 20 of us that came up here, and of the 20, we were detailed to the what was called the Bureau of Ordnance Experimental Unit, which was located at the Bureau of Standards out in Connecticut Avenue here. And there, to our surprise, because nothing was said about what we were going to be doing, we were in the development of the first guided missiles that ended up being used against the Japanese in the Pacific Theater. It was called the BAT program, which is on the picture there. This one here. That's the BAT missile that's hanging on a PV-2 there. When I left the Navy, I was with the Bureau of Ordnance. They hired me as an administrative assistant in the guided missile branch of the research division there. And after 5 years, I was going to transfer to the Atomic Energy Commission. It's known now as the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And they heard I was leaving and wanted me to talk to the first appointed small business specialist for the Bureau of Ordnance, who was excited to have me in his office and hired me there, and this was October of '51. The first thing, of course, was at the time in '51 there was no Small Business Act. That came in 1953. And since then there's been a lot of legislation that's given more stature to the program. What was the Armed Services Procurement Regulation became a Federal Acquisition Regulation. And these regulations have been expanded to through law to become more operational, and plus the executive orders and other policy directives has made the program quite a viable program the way it is now. The events that led up to this were the increasing concentration of industrial capacity with the large companies. Many of the small companies were being acquired, merged, or some of them even went out of business. And this was of great concern. There are publications and reports, which I believe I have somewhere, that discuss this in more detail, the consolidation of companies and the limitations which it resulted in competition. Pretty much the same situation, but with the kind of assistance and preferential treatment and the legislation which the regulations provide us opportunities through set-asides and other mediums help preserve the companies, and many of those companies have started off small and have become large, and are evidence of the success of the legislation that's been passed to promote this. A lot of our thinking now, my thinking particularly, is moving towards mobilization considerations. The resources in ship repair, ship maintenance, ship construction among small businesses quite limited nationally, and with the focus more and more upon the Pacific Theater, I think we have to do everything possible to preserve the small companies through market research and through industry days, specific industry days, to consider these opportunities to preserve the resources that are there. I would encourage these people to place a lot of weight on collaboration with not only the technical community, but also the contracting community. Collaboration. The second thing is, of course, to get into the act as early as possible. And by act, I mean the procurement cycle. And then I think there's probably a third area there, and we have a good understanding of the requirements and the resources that it's going to take to assist in finding firms that are capable of fulfilling them. Small business should be well prepared in their knowledge of the company, its resources, and also its history of what they have produced specifically for the Defense Department. Mm-hmm. The second thing is that they should have some knowledge of the activity that they are trying to promote use of their concern with. And the more familiarity they have with the requirements and the business that the activity is in, then the better off they are in being able to get recognition and opportunities which are suitable for them, and not spend a lot of money and time in competing for things that are quite remote for their capabilities. I would be interested in their performance. What have they performed for who, where, and even though it may not be in our own activity, there are similarities with other activities, other components of the Navy, such as the Marine Corps or ONR, and in this way we're able to do quite a bit of good. The most memorable one is that trailer that you see there.
Right.
And this was a task that was assigned to me like 2 months after I got on the job.
Wow.
And I had to put together, first of all, assemble the trailer, get it assembled, painted, and everything, which incidentally was done right here at the Washington Navy Yard.
Okay.
I don't remember what building it was in, but I do remember bringing the project order to Building 200, the administration building, and seeing a Commander Ward there and telling him what I wanted done. And we had a schedule set up for this trailer to go across the country, visit every city over 400,000 population, the capital of every state, and it did 3 trips across the country. Once up the East Coast and through the northern part of the country, and they returned through the central part of the country. This was a seasonal trip, and then they finally went back along the southern part of the country to San Francisco.